And our first glimpse of the moments the Taliban handed over Sergeant Bergdahl to American forces coming from a propaganda video released by the Taliban themselves.
It's not unusual for the Taliban to videotape moments such as this and turn them into propaganda for their followers.
I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of that video spreading around the internet and around jihadist websites for some time to come.
We put a value on individual human life the way that the barbarians at the other end of the table don't. And that's why we always end up with unequal swaps.
And joining us, Charles Krauthammer, author of Things That Matter. Nice to see you, Charles.
Good to be here.
Charles, that Taliban video, how's that going to be used? Is that going to be used against us?
It's clear propaganda, and you can see the metaphor, the theme. Here's the American under their custody, the prisoner, the guy who's sort of bewildered, blinking, and in retreat. The Taliban are in control, and what do they say as he leaves? Don't come back. That's the Taliban speaking to the United States, telling the world we have now driven out the United States, it's now in withdrawal, and don't come back. That's a victory video.
Do you think the U.S. knew that was coming, that they were going to tape it? I mean, is that just inevitable and there's not much we could do about that one?
Well, that's inevitable, and there isn't anything you can do about it. It puts into question how much did they think this thing through. The fact that the president pretended that this was some kind of triumph at the beginning when he had the family in the White House, it was a victory lap. He had Susan Rice saying this is an extraordinary day for America. It was an extraordinarily dark and somber day. I would have agreed with the swap, but with great reluctance, with even revulsion, in order to get one of our guys back. But the idea that they would think that the country would want to celebrate this tells you how out of touch they are. And you got a sense of that when the president said, oh, the debates in Washington are being whipped up, as if this is a phony debate and it's not over fundamental issues where there are arguments on both sides.
On Special Report Luago, I heard you talk about suspect witness tampering. What did you mean by that?
Look, they have this guy in the hospital in Germany. Of course you want to decompress him. Of course you want to help him to adapt. But unless he's gravely ill, you know, at some point, the people of America have a right to hear him and to have him explain whether or not he's a deserter or not. And at some point, I think it is utterly inevitable that he's going to have to answer to the military justice system. Now, remember, the administration has been saying through Susan Rice that he served with honor and distinction. They have a stake in that being the case. They have a stake in America thinking that. And, you know, I'd like to see them treat him as needs to be treated, but then let him speak to the United States. Let him speak to the citizens who paid a very heavy price in releasing these senior Taliban guys, and tell us what really happened without any coaching. Thank you very much.
Charles, always nice to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.